Om Om Sadashivasmarambham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheswaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahi तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु महाविद्विषावहि ओम शांति शांति शांति. So welcome back after a long time. So if you remember, we have already completed 12th chapter. Correct, if I'm right? So all of you agree with me? Or not? Or shall we start from the chapter 1 onwards? So to my understanding, we have completed 12th chapter. So we are supposed to start 13th chapter. So before going to this 13th chapter, as already you know, that the Bhagavad Gita is divided into 3 parts. So the chapter 1 to 6 was being highlighted as Tvam Pada analysis, Tvam Pada Vichara. So we have discussed in details, just I am summarizing. So what is Tvam Pada? The Jiva Swarupaha. So the nature of the individual. So that was being highlighted. That is called the first portion of Bhagavad Gita. Second portion of Bhagavad Gita, which started from 7th to 12th, we have completed. So there, Tatpada Vichara means the Ishvaraha is being highlighted. So Paramatma Swarupaha, Brahma Swarupaha ityartha. And finally, from this 13th to 18th, we are going to see the relationship, the equation between Jiva and Ishwar. We call Ashi Pada Vichara. Tat Tvam Ashi. So if you want to put it in a proper way, Tvam Tat Asi. So in English, nicely they say, you are that. So you that are. This is the order, okay? You that are. So when we discussed this thing, I hope also I'm trying to summarize. When we discussed the first portion of Bhagavad Gita, which is called from chapter 1 to chapter 6. So there also 3 topics were highlighted. So the Bhagavad Gita is divided into 3 sections. And in each section, means the first to 6, 7 to 12, and 13 to 18. So in each section, 3 topics are being discussed mainly, so that it becomes easier to remember. So the first, what was being highlighted, already we have seen that Tvam Pada. So the analysis of Jiva, analysis of individual. Then the second topic in the first portion of Bhagavad Gita was that karma yoga as a sadhana. Because only Jiva Swarupam is not enough. That's why we have discussed in details the importance of karma yoga. And the third topic was, we call as effort, individual effort, prayatna. So how this individual effort also plays a big role, that was being highlighted in first portion of Bhagavad Gita, that was Uddharet Atmanam Atmanam. So in 6th chapter, we have seen this very carefully. So when we see this aspect, so definitely we need to look at, okay, what about this second portion of Bhagavad Gita? Because in the first portion, Tvam Pada, then comes karma as sadhana. Then third one is called prayatna. Then what about from 7 to 12, second portion? So in the second portion, of course, Tatpada Vichara, the analysis of Tatpada, the Ishwaraha, Ityarthaha. Now, this being the first topic, second topic was being highlighted called Ishwara Upasana. That's why the new yoga was being introduced by Lord Krishna called Abhyasa Yoga. And we have discussed in details. So in that Abhyasa Yoga, Viswarupa Upasana was introduced. So seeing everything all the time as Ishwara, and everything is the manifestation of Ishwara, was being discussed also in details. And the third topic also was being highlighted in the second portion of Bhagavad Gita. That was called as Ishwara Anugraha, or you can say Ishwara Krupa. Because without Ishwara Krupa, without the grace of Ishwara, nothing is going to work. You may put effort, you may keep doing karma yoga, you may do upasana, you have all these things, but it's not going to work. So Ishwara Krupa is nothing, even though we all know that Ishwara Krupa is available all the time. We don't have to work for Ishwara Krupa. We have discussed in many occasions. But we need to work on to tap the Ishwara Krupa. Like water is there underneath. But if we do not tap the water, it will not be useful for us. Nowadays, a new example comes. Look, in summer, especially in India, you have a lot of electricity in the solar energy. But if you do not know how to tap, what happens? In India, a lot of electricity power cut. So you have plenty of power outside, but in your room, there is no power and you start sweating. Can you see this point? Because the process of tapping the solar energy is not known, is not utilized. So when the tapping process is not complete, even though top of roof, only energy, nothing else. But now I am underneath the roof, now looking for energy because there is a power cut. So also in our life, if there is no Ishwara Krupa, there is no Vibhu Krupa, means I am not in a position to tap them. Definitely, in spite of everything, my life will be different will be measurable. Now, after this, if you say, 6 topics have been already discussed in details from chapter 1 to chapter 12. Now, from chapter 13 to 18, the last portion of Bhagavad Gita, there also 3 topics have been discussed. As I told you, the first 1 to 6, Tvam Pada, then comes Karma Yoga, then comes Prayatna, effort. Then second portion of Bhagavad Gita, Tatpada, Vichara. Then comes Abhyasa Yoga or Upasana. And third one was called Ishvara Krupa, Vibhu Krupa. Because it's very easy to remember the essence of Bhagavad Gita. So that is how we need to look at it. Then comes that the third portion discusses 3 topics. So the first is Asi Pada Vichara. So Tat Tvam Asi, that you are, that equation. So this equation analysis is being analyzed. So what we call as that oneness is being highlighted, is being discussed. Because we need to also understand very carefully, as we see that when it tells that me as everything is not that easy to accept or to understand. Why me as everything is not acceptable? Because I know I am small, limited. So if somebody says you are God, how can you say that you are God? Because I know God is what? Omniscience. So if God is omniscient, now me does not know how to spell the word omniscient. This is my situation. If God is omnipotent, I don't have strength to lift small thing. In fact, to lift myself also, I am struggling. You understand? When I sit down, I do not know how to get up. All kada kada mada mada sound comes. So, but how can I be omnipotent? And omnipresent, forget. That's why we are taking the help of Zoom and other platforms. If I am omniscient, omnipresent, so then what happens? All these things are not required at all. So that means I am very clear, neither I am omnipotent, not omniscient, nor even omnipresent. So how can I accept this? So the process of this analysis goes in and that Jivatma is nothing but Paramatma. So for that, what it says, he takes the help of this process of understanding Jivatma as Paramatma happens through this called Jnana Yoga. This is the second topic that is being discussed. So first is Asipada Vichara. Asipada Vicharam is being done through what? Through Jnana Yoga. So that means that when this Jnana Yoga converts our way of thinking, how it gets converted? As you know, that the ocean is water. Also, wave is water. Now, this small wave, who was thinking, I am insignificant, I am small, I am limited, now I am going to die, I am insecure. There are bigger ones. They will take over. Hey, look, other two waves are very good. I am not good. I feel lonely. I am rejected. I am dejected. I don't know what to do, what not to do. You know, a list you have, okay? So all the list you can talk about wave. Imagine that wave starts talking. And I think your wave will have much more problem. And we'll say on the top of it, people are coming and watching me, not others. Sometimes they look at me, what is this? And somebody comes and kicks at me. And if I take them away, they also complain the authority, then they deregulate me. All these things, okay? A list, huge list you can create. However, the essence of wave is water and the ocean also is water. Now, when this understanding through the teaching, there is a upadesha karta hai. So there is a teacher teaches. Now, what will be understanding of this wave? So wave has to think what? Not you are that. Hey, you are water. Hey, who is that you? That's why when you talk, we don't talk you water. So here the conversion is, I am water. Can you see, understand? So when the teacher says, you are the water, now the wave understands what? I am the water. So that conversion, that attitude changes. So when the understanding becomes proper, that's why the I becomes we. There will be no you and me. Problem is when the understanding is not complete, so we live with the life of what? I and you. Conveniently, we keep changing. You, and I. And sometimes me. There is no me, okay? So there is nothing called me. Because I don't know how these English people have destroyed, okay? The English is a funny language, has no, logic. Illogical language, one of the most illogical language is called English. A lot of popular things are coming, the past tense of English. What is this? If you look at anyone, starting with, okay, start. So it becomes started, ed. Now, if I say go, what is the past tense of go? If there is no connection with went has any connection with go? And what about come? There is no change at all. Come. Oh, come came is there, okay? And wanted, it has got another meaning, okay? Most wanted person, okay? Anyway, so English is very funny. So this me, that's why I'm saying, trying to say, okay? Me. I'm using the word me. For that sake, I went. Oh, so what is being highlighted here is, through the Jnana Yoga, now the attitude changes, my thinking process changes. So here, not that you are water, you are Brahman, it is I am Brahman. So that once that I am Brahman, automatically my way of thinking changes. So while discussing this thing, of course, the third chapter is what introduces very nicely here, discusses about called Jnanam. Why and how? Let us look at. This Jnana Yoga is a little complicated for common people. That's why they name it as called Raja Yoga. We have seen already. That because for Jnana Yoga, you need to have a prepared mind. Why and how? Because here one equation is involved. So what is the equation? you don't write equation very simple. 4 is equal to 5. Can you say equation it is? If 4 is not 5. But if you are married, you can say 1 is equal to 2. Okay, is allowed. Be clear, okay? Remember, if you are married, 1 is equal to 2. Sometimes 1 is equal to 3 also allowed. Or 1 is equal to 4 also is allowed, okay? So, but remember, 4 is equal to 5 is not, there is no equation. That means, and also, can you say that 4 is equal to 4? Is it an equation? It has no value either. So equation means what? Left side there should be something different, and right side there should be something different. But at the same time, there is oneness. Then only we can say equation 2 plus 2, 3 plus is equal to 3 plus 1, or 5 minus 1 is acceptable. So that means what? From the primary look, there is some difference. But when you start analyzing in details, we see there is oneness. Now, for this, you need to have Shraddha. For this, you need to have preparedness of the mind. You need to have consistency. You need to have many things, or else it is not going to work. That's why many people drop on the way. So that's why the third topic was being highlighted in this, called Jnanam. So what is that Jnanam? So Jnana Yoga and Jnanam, there is difference. Generally, when we say Jnanam, for us understanding Jnana means knowledge. But here, Jnanam that is being introduced, not as knowledge, but as values. Because unless there are certain values, basic values in my life, I will not be able to understand this knowledge. The preparedness of the mind completely depends upon the values that I uphold. If I don't uphold the values, my understanding will be superficial. That's why understanding the values is one of the key role. In fact, in 13th chapter itself, we will start seeing the values. So in 13, of course, 14, 15, everywhere we'll be seeing values differently. So we'll be seeing in details as it gets unfolded. So now, that means it is very clear, as you have seen from chapter 1 to 6, the first portion of Bhagavad Gita speaks about 3 topics: Tvam pada vichara, karma yoga, and finally what? One's own effort, prayatna. Now the second portion of Bhagavad Gita talks about Tatpada Vichara, analysis of Tatpada, the Ishvara. Then comes Upasana Yoga, Abhyasa Yoga. And third topic was Ishvara Krupa or Vibhu Krupa. The third portion of Bhagavad Gita talks about what? Asi pada vichara, tattvam asi, the last one. So analyzing the oneness between this tat and tvam, or better, tvam and tat. Then the second topic was, or is discussed as Jnana Yoga. That's why there is a teaching involved, Upadesha has to be there. And finally, Jnanam, the values. So with this, today I am stopping the class, and this is the introduction to 13th chapter. Please close your eyes. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, all of you. Namaste. We'll keep meeting.